but I spent a very long time trying to figure out how to approach this topic. Because, I mean, I guess we all know that religion is very multi-layered and multi-dimensional, but I still think that many view and propone religion to be something that is more simplistic. People see it as something that maybe a socially constructed institution, or a nice culture, or a way of life. And what I'm trying to show is that it's more than that. So I'm going to present 3 assumptions that I've come across as a religious person about religion, and I'm going to discuss, I'm going to try to challenge them and discuss why religion can go maybe deeper than that. So, as a religious person, I often get questions about my religion. What kind of things my religion mandates, why do certain things, why I can't have the pizza after this because it's not kosher, why I spend every Saturday with 25 hours of no cell phone use. And I think those are important questions, but before we approach those kind of topics, we need to think, why? Why religion? Why do people pick religion? So, 2 assumptions that I've come across about why religion, many people have asked me this, are first, it's an upbringing. You've been brought up this way. This is the only thing you know. Your parents raised you this way. Your community raised you this way. So this is why you're religious. And some people go further than that, and they say maybe religion gives you a sense of purpose. It makes you feel important. It makes you feel significant. Maybe some people say it's even used as an escape or a crutch, or a way to deal with life. And I'm not going to argue that these assumptions are completely false, because there's definitely truth to them. But I'm going to try to say that maybe religion is more than just that, and I'm going to try to give you a perspective from a religious person and how I view these things. So, this thing I want to show you. So this works. Okay. This is a depiction of a typical ultra-Orthodox or Hasidic family. You can try to guess who maybe in the middle is. And, I don't know, maybe you can see the resemblance even though I look hideous. But, I grew up ultra-Orthodox until I was 16 years old. These are not Amish people, nothing to do with that at all. Ultra-Orthodox is actually a minority sect of Judaism. It's very right-winged, and it is not representative of all Orthodoxy, even though some people have this image in mind or something similar to that when you think, oh, religious Jews. So the difference is that ultra-Orthodox goes above and beyond the rule of law, whereas regular Orthodox people who just follow the religious laws. And so I grew up this way, and this kind of way of life was ingrained in me since I was very young. And initially, that was the reason why I was religious. This was my family, this was my community, this is all I knew. But that way of life was challenged in my mid-teen years when both my parents left Judaism altogether and became completely secular. So on the one hand, I had my parents who were completely secular, didn't believe in anything at all anymore. That's a whole other story. And then on the other hand, I had the rest of my extended family who still, till today, stay true to this way of life. And I had to choose. And initially, it was difficult, and my entire life was turned upside down. This is all I knew. Now my parents reject it. How do I take that? So I did question, I challenged, I projected some things, and at some point I lost a little bit of faith, and I said, maybe, because up until that point it was just based on upbringing. But then, after I questioned, and I studied, and I learned, I was able to come back to religion, to Orthodox religion, to complete following every rule of Judaism, every law, but from a different point of view. I don't consider myself to be less religious than I was then. I just think it's a different way of life. And I think many would agree with me. So my point is that, in my case, it's clearly not an upbringing thing, because I had plenty of chances to leave, to get out, and I chose to stay. And you might say, okay, this is an extreme case. Most religious people do grow up in the same community. It's pretty consistent. Their parents stay religious. But I would argue that even those people face times in their lives when they have to make the distinction between an upbringing and a religion and make a choice. So here I am trying to challenge the notion that it's just an upbringing, because it's more than that. And if you go a step deeper than that, then you say, okay, so religion is about a purpose. Maybe I chose to stay religious because it gave me sort of purpose, maybe helped me deal with certain things in life. And of course religion does give me a sense of purpose, otherwise something would be wrong. But I'm going to argue that following something that mandates every single aspect of your life, and it does, and it's part of every decision that I make, religion is part of it, that is not justified by just wanting a sense of purpose. It's not just a human quest for feeling significant or wanting to feel part of something. And I personally know also someone else who, one of my close family friends, who became religious at the age of 27. Who came from a completely, from going to Wendy's on a random Wednesday night to going to Israel radically, changing completely their entire lives and studying religion. Is that a quest for a purpose? Maybe, but I think it's more than that. Because if you wanted a purpose, you could find purpose in so many other things, and many people do. They don't need religion to find purpose. They can do charity. They can become involved in different movements. It's not just about that. So I would say that religion transcends just the quest for purpose. Purpose is merely an outcome of that, but it is a belief. And so I want to come to my next point. Once we've established that people are religious because it's a belief, because it's something more than just a quest for purpose or an upbringing, many people look at me and they think I am maybe restricted, and religion is imposing on me and it holds me back from certain things. For example, a couple of weeks ago, on a Friday night, when I was on my way to synagogue for the Sabbath services, I was walking with my group of friends who were all going out to a bar. And they said, hey, come with us, come join. And I was like, oh, I can't do that on Sabbath, and I have synagogue. And I felt like maybe they thought to themselves, oh, she's a little bit limited, maybe it's difficult to make those choices. But I want to say that it's not, I don't feel that way. And it's important for me to make my friends understand that, because if I had gone to the bar, that would have been a restriction on my religious observance. And because I'm so passionate about religion and about what I do, the fact that I make religion a priority in my life makes me free. It makes me be able to do what I love and what I believe in, and it doesn't feel like a restriction to me at all. And here I want to bring another example from a very interesting young woman who she explains why she wears a hijab. And you can see from her example, you don't have to relate to the concept of hijab, because I don't believe in that necessarily either. But I understand where she's coming from, and she explains very well how she doesn't see that as a restriction. So, you don't have to necessarily agree with what she's saying about the hijab or how it makes her feel and how it makes her powerful. What you could see is very clear from the way she presents her argument that she doesn't see it as a restriction. She doesn't see it as something that limits her. She sees it as something that gives her power, that makes her be able to more freely exercise her will and do what she wants and display who she is, which is how I view religion as well. So I can very much relate to that. So I want to conclude by leaving you all with maybe a better understanding of where religious people are coming from, so that the next time you talk about religion, or you meet someone who's religious, or have anything to do with religion, don't just think of it as, oh, that's the default, that's just what some people do, that's how they're raised, this is what they do to make themselves feel significant. Because even though you might not be able to relate to their beliefs or their philosophies, And we all have things that we can't relate to. But maybe we could understand where these people are coming from and know that there's so much depth and there's so much more than what you just see on the outside. And when you hear about these topics, try to keep an open mind. Try to understand that this person, their entire lives are centered around this. And it's so important to them. So I hope this was interesting.